You getting a little stretch on before we get started?
Renaissance.
Okay. I'm sorry. I
Or,
didn't. I'm not up on it. I know that she's like topping country charts right now. I know that for sure. Yeah, as she should. Well, what's up? Thank you so much, Santwon, for. I know you did not just.
you know Beyonce, listen, you gotta stay ready, baby. Okay.
Okay. Um, what's up? Thank you so much, Santwon, for doing this and just joining me on this fun little hobby that I've discovered. And I'm so excited to be talking to you. And before we get into, all the who's and how's and the what's and the whys, I just want to take a moment to introduce one of my best friends, one of my oldest friends. And I don't mean old like you're old, but I mean my one of my longest standing friendships. Oh, there's hearts. I haven't seen that before. How'd you do that?
I went like this and it worked.
Okay, let's go.
Dude.
But you better get that dog. One of my longest standing friendships and a person that I not only love and appreciate, but someone that I admire, someone that I look up to. He is I can't even count, multi-time national champion, multi-time world champion, future Oscar and Emmy award-winning actor, stunt performer, future Grammy award-winning artist, future, I don't know what the comedy awards are, but future comedy award winner.
Grammys now.
Okay. Period. And just an all around incredible person that has probably forgotten more about cheerleading than I've ever learned or experienced. And it's somebody that I look up to, somebody that I love with my whole heart, and someone that's cheered on some of the most incredible world renowned teams in the country, and someone that now designs the most beautiful, elegant championship rings for all of our national and world champions across the country, Mr. Santwon McCray.
Welcome. Oh, I was like, I can't wait to meet this person. They sound grand. Thank you, twin.
Welcome. And if I missed anything, please let the people know, because I know that, again, you've done so many things. Is there anything I left off my list
that I've just done, or just
yes, sir? Yeah.
Good
like
at?
What?
There's a difference.
Okay. I mean,
God.
Marvel movie enthusiast, stunt man. I know you worked on some stunt stuff out in the ATL, yeah. And you're a world traveler, choreographer. Oh my gosh, I did leave tons of stuff off. National champion coach, national and potential world champion choreographer, and sure. Oh my gosh, and an incredible voiceover artist. Hello.
I was gonna say, I was waiting on the vocals.
I was like, how do we leave that one off? Oh my gosh,
dude, that's what I was waiting on.
I just got caught up. Like I said, I just lose track. You do so many things so well, it's just impossible to keep track of all of it.
Thank you. Apologies for my gremlin of a puppy in the back. I'm over here like getting emotional, and I'm like, oh my god, what an intro! And she in the back. June, cut that fun stuff out, baby. I'm talking to my twin.
Maybe that's the cherry on the top of the ice cream cake, is that most people don't know this, but we are in fact twins.
We are twins, guys. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it happened. It just did, and we here now. So what's up?
Yep, that's it. Well, we're actually going to get into that story. I'm going to let you tell that story of how we became twins. But for those that maybe the young bucks that haven't been around as long as we have, my first question to you, sir, is when, where, and how did you get your start in cheerleading?
Woo! So I had a friend, Cameron Gary. I'm surprised I remember that. He saw me because we were both athletes at the school at the time. He was a cheerleader, and I was indoor-outdoor track, dive team, even tennis. Lord have mercy. I wanted to see what would stick, and I was also on my high school hip-hop dance team and our step team. Oh my gosh. And he had approached me and noticed I was one of the only other unicorns kind of lingering about. And he said, I would love for you to come to one of our practices. And I said, for what? He says, for cheerleading, for all-star cheerleading. And I was like, no. I literally I declined it immediately. I was like, no, I'm okay. I wasn't quite me yet. I wasn't comfortable with that. Was still getting there. And I one day just said, you know what, screw it. Let's go and see what it's about. And when I came into a gym, it was one of those things of seeing the Olympics on TV and seeing Olympic level skills in person, there's a major difference, you know, like we got all the quality in the world, but to witness something and like feel the power of it, and like it just can send chills over your body.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just saw one of my, still to this day, one of my icons I look up to, and a good friend of mine, his name is Terrell Smith, and he was the first Pro X athlete. And he was the first Black Pro X athlete. Shout out to Terrell Smith, you know, during Black
Okay.
History Month. Let's get
Come
it.
on.
And yeah, no, it wowed me. And to look around to see so many other unicorns being embraced for simply first being openly gay.
Mm-hmm.
First, like
Mm-hmm.
just having that attitude, that flair, that style, that's like standalone presence. That was the first thing that enticed me about cheerleading. And then the endless the endless spectrum of things that you can do and the endless level of skills you can acquire if you work for it. That's what locked me in, because
Mm-hmm.
I was able to still like find a place where I could use all of me, all of my athleticism, all of like my wit, and you know, being immersed in a culture full of so many different faces, so many different body types, and having to like work with people and work on your like people skills, your communication skills, your athletic skills, your mental skills, emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and like work life balance in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many things where you had to take a level of responsibility and accountability, and all that stuff was just so addicting.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself I'm going to be one of the absolute best in this sport. I have to be, because it is the only thing that I can see the light at the end of end of the tunnel. Excuse me. I got a little excited, and a little choked up, because I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like, man, this is really something that I could do, that I don't see a glass ceiling that I can't actually get over, because it's something that's like beyond me or bigger than me. I was like, this is a place I can thrive.
Right.
So yeah, that's when I was like 15, turning 16,
I
and
know.
I began at Fame All Stars. Shout out to my loves, my OGs,
There you
and
go.
they took this little, like just rough around the edges, little gay boy with no idea what he's doing, and they said, "Don't worry, we got you." And once I got to a certain level where I could kind of stop tugging on everybody's shirts to say, "Help me, help me, help me," I decided to help myself.
Mm.
And so church service on Sunday turned into, I was at the gym 4 hours early, getting my homework done, sitting in a straddle sit, so I could like get on this tumble track and figure out this double. Because if I don't get it, I'm gonna like literally just like hate myself.
Mm.
So yeah, that's how I got into cheerleading, and man, the rest is history. Jesus Christmas. Ooh.
Okay. Well, we're gonna now transition. My next question is, once you got your start at Fame, where did your cheer journey take you? What teams have you cheered on, and at what levels have you cheered?
Well, back 4000 BC, we didn't quite have number levels yet.
Yep.
We were like Excel, Intermediate, Advanced, Elite, all that good stuff. So I first began on our advanced co-ed team, and then you know, you're a boy, you got strength. They don't really at that time didn't necessarily need to care about the basics. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, just get on this team and hold this girl. We'll figure it out in the end. And yeah, I started at our advanced team, our elite, or co-ed elite, co-ed advanced, whatever, and then I ended up on our intermediate team, which is now considered level 3.
Mm.
And yeah, gosh, I went down to, interestingly enough, where we became twins. This was before I went to Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
I
We'll get and we have a separate part for that story, but
Yes.
you could talk about all your stops along the way. I just want to let the people know.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So that's where we met. I tried out for Gym Time and University of Louisville, which I made. Technically, I made both. I made University of Louisville. However, to having senior teams, and if you only have 1 year left, if you want to go international, da 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 da, there was only a few spots left, and I didn't make the senior team. And they said, we have an international team, which again, another defending world champion team. The options weren't terrible to choose from. Okay, I
Right.
wasn't upset by any means.
Yeah.
I just felt somewhere deep in my spirit that like this could be something. Like if I use this last year, because I'll never be able to do it again. I can't turn back time yet.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
work on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I said, okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. And we figured some things out. And by the grace of the universe, my roommate at the time, one of them happened to be Bucky O'Leary. And he said, well, if you're that moved and upset by it, then you know what? Let's see if we could call Victor. And yeah, I made a quick visit down to good old Miami, Florida. And then a few weeks later, I was in a car on my way down to Florida on my longest road trip ever, solo dolo, and I ended up on Top Gun All Stars, what is now known as TGLC. And I also cheered on the international team there for one competition. Our senior co-ed 3. I wanted to do hip hop so bad
Wait,
because it's
I
so
gotta
cool.
stop you. I gotta stop you because you just glossed over. When you said Top Gun Large Co-ed, like people need to know we are talking about the one of the most famous, if not the most famous, tumbling pass ever thrown at the World Championships of cheerleading. And you just skimmed over it like it was just a little like it was just a little sentence in a three
You know,
thousand
I,
page
I
book.
don't want to get too deep into it because
I'll
it's
get into it.
all
It was a 1.5 through to a 1.5 drop into the split into a whirlwind little like breakdancing move that I
in
was
the
like, oh
worst three
no,
to
he did
double
not.
of my life afterwards because I was so excited.
Yeah, but you got man, let these young bucks know who they're
Oh
talking
my
to.
god. Yeah, man. Top Gun Large Co-ed 2008. Eh, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the undisputed champions of the world. If you know that mix and you know that routine, I'm the one that, for some reason, thought it would be Victor Rosario's fault. Thought it would be good to land in a split out of 10 feet in the air,
Yeah.
flipping my body. So, it was the catalyst that made the world go, who is this? You know what I mean? And that's what's really cool about being on that team is it was that one thing for the world to notice who I was. So then they could, now I have a reason even more to like advance my skills, improve
Mm.
and polish myself as an athlete. Cause like I said, I gave you one of the most iconic moments in cheerleading, which is crazy to say, followed by the world's craziest three to double. But that's the beauty of this
But
sport is we can
nobody's talking about that 3 to double, baby.
they don't remember it. You know what I mean? Like it's really cool to have a moment like that and then still have room for improvement. So I think that's what is really interesting about that specific moment. Um, and yeah, so to move forward, I cheered on. I went back to gym time in University of Louisville because I made a promise to James Speed, the bald eagle himself, that I would come back with more skills and be ready to be there full time all the way through. And yeah, man, is it possible to just pause for a second? Because
And
June
get you
is
want to take care of that dog?
yeah, because it's
Yeah,
pissing me
man.
off.
Take care of that dog. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I might not cut that out, but I might do like a fast forward, like you know what I mean? Let you get rid of the
Lit.
dog.
I'm so down. Okay. Yeah. So after having such an incredible season down in Miami, I came back to gym time at the University of Louisville, where I got to become. Because now it's like, okay, that's Santwon, but cool. Like you have a moment, but it's like, what do you do with it? And again, it was just a natural thing of being around so much talent. It just you are who you hang out with, So I
Yeah.
was around some of the world's absolute top all around athletes, and it was so cool the time I came in because I feel like a little bit of that middle child. I feel like that middle generation of the old school greats and like being a part of their legacy on the end, on the tail end, and then giving birth or giving way to a new school of kids that do some of the most bonkers things I've ever seen. So,
Right.
yeah, had my time there from '09 to 14 and retiring in 2013 with national titles under my belt. Well, collegiately speaking. Um, you said lie again. Yeah, it was really, really cool to have that and to also represent Team USA. What an honor, you know what I mean? Go Eagles, Bird Gang. I don't know how to do that, but yeah, to get to represent my country and my respective sport like that to me was I was fangirling over everybody the whole time. I was like, oh my god, you are so and so. Like I was very much a kid who was about looking into or doing research and like getting my nerd on. I want to be educated about the world I'm in because if you knew better, you do better. I really don't know how else to better explain that. But moving on, I retired and moved to Los Angeles, where I began my pursuit of entertainment. And somewhere in there, Tanaz found out that I was in the state of California and lost her marbles. And I began coaching at California All Stars
I
with my
wonder how
twin.
I wonder how she found out. I wonder who could have
Did you
told her.
snitch?
No, snitches
No,
get stitches.
no, you didn't snitch. I came to a competition and I don't know. I think I came to see you, came to see a couple peeps, and was like, "What's up?" And she was like, "Santwon, what are you doing?" I was like, "Girl, I live here." She lost her marbles, so I ended up coaching with my twin, my incredible bestie, my brother, Bo. And man, that was an adventure in and of itself. Like it was all the fun things you really want with coaching with somebody you were really close with. And somewhere in there, Orby found out that I'm also in the state and needed a boy. And it was like 6 weeks until Worlds 2017. And you know what? It had been like 3 years since I had cheered. But I think six weeks is enough time to like reacclimate, warm the muscles up, get yourself together. We came home with second. I was very happy. I am not mad about that. I had no, oh my God, like at this point, I want to say 4 world titles under my belt, all this stuff going on, and I wasn't looking for that win. I wanted to have a great time, help out the fam bam. We're cool. We placed top three. Let's go to Disney. Like simple. I wanted to
Yeah.
go for fun, and I had a blast. Fast forward to 34 days before Worlds 2018, Orbi uses this against me, and I will literally call Orbitals out every time. He uses this against me to say, "You're going to come out of retirement and get second." So he woke up that dog. I said, "Wait a
Ooh.
minute." I said, "Wait a minute, because what you're not going to do is talk about mamas, because this is fighting words, sir. Mama didn't raise no, you already know. So, like, what we doing?" And I gave in,
Yep.
put my body through absolute just hell. You know what I mean? Just
Yep.
put my body through it. And man, it was so worth it to go 10 years from the first time competing this first ever skill at Worlds to then competing it again 10 years later to pay homage. Not only that, to round out my career with 5 world titles in 10 years. And it just all fell perfectly. It just
Yeah.
all fell into place perfectly. And I could not have asked for a more beautiful ending, because, I mean, that's the best part. Not a best part, but that's what makes a meal so good or makes life worth living, is because, there is an end. So you have to, like, enjoy those, like, little milestones. So I was very grateful for him. I will fight him to this day for what he did, but I will also hug him to death for giving me that opportunity. So
Yep.
I'm appreciative of good old Orbitals for, bringing me back out and giving me an ending that is very unique. It's one of one.
Yeah.
For sure.
One and man, I love hearing that. I love that expression, like he woke up the dog, because I mean that resonates with so many people. Of because a lot of people get motivation a lot of different ways,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that there's something about being challenged, right? And someone kind of just calling you out and using
Yeah.
it. Like I love hearing that. Like, oh, so you're gonna come out of retirement just to get second place, and you're like, oh boy,
I was
like
like, first of all, who are you
yeah,
talking to, sir?
yeah.
Because I can still fight people. Like,
Right. Well,
ugh.
and something really cool, and I don't even think we've even discussed like the levels of how special that performance was with Reckless and you doing that tumbling pass. Cause it's like, number one, when you did it the first time, Top Gun, 2008, like back then, Callie Coed and Top Gun. I mean, I don't want to say going back and forth, because I think Callie
But
Coed has
yeah,
two world
we were
titles,
going at
but it was
it.
like they were neck and neck, right?
Yeah.
Top Gun, definitely had the lion's share of, or maybe the Jags share of titles, right? But Callie Coed was in the mix and in your face and kept them on their toes. And
Yeah.
that 2008. Now I was also coaching, Callie Coed, and back then it wasn't called Callie Coed; it was just Coed, right? But
Yeah.
it's the team that now everybody calls Callie Coed, which tier doesn't exist right now, but will hopefully makes a comeback.
Yeah.
But I was coaching that team with Jeff McQueen, and that was the year where I felt we had California All Stars, we had the strongest routine in the division, and the thing that in my soul I believe that what set Top Gun apart was your tumbling pass. It was like to
Oh
me,
no.
that was the thing that tipped the needle, right? Because I thought, skill for skill, routine for routine. I think that 2008 California All Stars routine was
Oh, the routine
one
was
of the most
baller.
creative routines. And I thought skill for skill, we hung. I actually thought our stunts were more difficult. I thought your
Yeah.
pyramid was more difficult. I thought the standing tumbling was evenly matched. I think we had the exact same number of standing fulls for the first
Yeah.
time. Like, it was such an even match. And when you did that tumbling pass, I was like, that's a wrap. There it is right there. It's like, and it was like, that was that thing. It was like, that was the tipping point. And so then to have it 10 years later, where you're doing that same pass, wearing a California All-Stars routine and then winning worlds, it's like,
Wow.
again, like, was that tumbling pass the tipping point that like put it in? And it's just such a cool thing to look at, look at it from the ether, from beyond it. And it's just a
Yeah.
really cool thing to look at those levels. And
I
yeah, it was,
never
and
thought about it like that.
yeah, was that, well, because you're in it, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you got to be somebody on the outside that sees it, because a fish doesn't know it's in water. It's like
It's
until you,
just
until you
it's
take it
just
out.
doing its thing.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome. That's
amazing.
super cool.
Thank
That's
you
super
for
cool.
that.
Yeah. Well, then, I mean, it's, again, it's like you're hearing it from a perspective that you haven't seen, and I am as well. Hearing it from your
Hmm.
perspective. But I do want to rewind it just a little bit, because we
Yes.
did meet, and I mean, it was just chance, right? And we all know who orchestrated it. But
Hmm.
you were at Louisville. You were in Louisville at gym time, for a small window of time. Right before you went to Top Gun, and during that small window, I was there just on a visit to visit friends. I was there, visiting Demo, visiting. Who else was there that we were hanging out with? I mean, I don't even want to say I was friends with Matt. McGrath, but like he was always super polite and super nice. But I would never assume to be friends. I mean, sure, he would be like, "Oh no, we're friends." I'm like, but he's always super nice. But we were there. We were there visiting Demo, Reese, and all those kind of old heads. Robbie Gregory was there, and he's still doing it. Which, by the way, we could talk about that. He's still doing like standing whip doubles. He's insane. Um,
Legendary.
yeah, we were just there on a visit just for fun. And when practices had ended and everybody's kind of done doing their thing, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to tumble. I want to get out there. I was still, I don't want to say I was young, but I was young enough to still be able to flip around, right?
Able-bodied.
Right. So I literally, switched onto my cheer shoes and I hop onto the spring floor. And now I'd like you to take us through how you and I became twins.
Oh, well, Lord have mercy, y'all. Me and the twinsies started warming up together. I want to say the first pass we did, we landed at the same time. Was like, oh, cute work. Like, like, all right, cool. That was great. Great timing. Good, just happenstance. And we did another and then another. And it just kept going. And I said, okay, well, now let's get to like an Arabian a dub. Some simple. We're getting towards the crazy. And I said, well, my Arabian's not good. I just kind of learned it, so like it might be a little crazy. He's like, same. And I was like, okay, cool. So we do it. It's the Arabians, of course, are all bonkers, but for some reason we still ended up like landing at the same time, and we just landed and looked at each other and was like, twin. And it just worked out, and I was just like, wow, my twin is ashy.
Twin needs a tan.
Oh my god, and your twin is burnt, so it's fine. Uh,
But
it
yeah,
was
it
just
was. Yeah, it was like, I think we did. It was legit like 10 to 12 passes, and it was
mm,
like just from 1 to 12, like every single one perfectly synchronized. It was crazy. It's like, and this was also back, there was no count tracks, there was no nothing. It was like random
mm-mm.
music in the background, and we literally just look at each other the corner of our eyes and start tumbling, right?
Yeah,
And it was like,
it just
and it's just,
happened.
yeah, it's just,
And I think
man,
it was so cool because we didn't know each other yet, so it was like we were all so fascinated with each other and like kind of poking and prodding, like, who are you? Where are you from? What you doing? You want to
right,
flip? And it was just so wholesome. I think that was what was cool about it, is that it was just a wholesome, organic, not like an Instagram. I'll follow you and like before you show up, I know everything about you, so I have the
right,
perfect conversation, or I know how to address you. If a person has like 2 million followers and a check their name, some
right,
people literally are like, I can't talk to them. And it's like, where's the human interaction?
right,
So I think
right,
the organic just energy, like it was Wonder Twin Powers and it activated and it's
right,
still
yeah, yeah.
strong. So
Yeah, I love it. And again, it's like that super happenstance, I just happened to be there, you were still there. We happened to just have perfect timing in tumbling together for no reason. And and it's like now here we are, almost, you ready? We are 16 years later, sir. No, we're 18 years later. 18 years later, and this is still one of my favorite friendships and relationships. We're creeping up on 20 years, homie. creeping up on 20 years.
Actually work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang, son.
I
That's
know.
great.
Okay,
It hasn't felt like that long.
and now we're gonna do. It's not even a segue, but we're just gonna take two thoughts that you've already shared. We're gonna merge them together. So we talked about how we kind of became friends, and it was so I love that word wholesome. How like we're tumbling together, having a good time, wholesome. And you talked about how Orby woke up that dog, and now we're gonna talk about something that is a core memory for me. It's like a sad humor to it, right? We're gonna talk about the World Championships of Cheerleading when you were on Gym Time Open. And I was on California All Stars Open, and I believe it was 2010. It was the last year. It was the last year I cheered, I believe.
It was 2010.
Now, the first thing before we get to the sad humor, right? I'm gonna talk about the warm up room.
Oh, it was lit,
bro. That warm up room at Worlds, it was California All Stars, Cheer Athletics, Top Gun, Gym Time, like all the big heads, right? Like the big dogs,
heavy hitters, bro.
All the heavy hitters. We're all in the warm up room together, and I remember like seeing you and Gym Time was standing like in the corner waiting to go onto the floor right after us, and I was like, "Oh, he's standing in my corner. He's standing in the corner. I tumbled too," and so I just did, and this was like a stunt through, right, where we weren't even supposed to tumble, but because you were standing there, I'm like, I'm doing my pass. So I'm just like, and I don't even remember what the pass was. I'll tell you this though, I know it ended in a kick double.
It was
so I did my little kick double. I landed. I turned. I looked right at you like I was staring into your soul, and I was gonna eat your children. Like
no, you did a little bit. I was nervous. I said,
right.
I think he actually wants to like put hands on me, y'all. Right. It was intense because this was like one of the first real bring it on moments for me.
Right. And it was like that was
whoa.
That was the thing is like, listen, man, like, and I'm sure it's not that serious, and it's never been that serious. But at the time when I'm in that moment, I'm like, and you think of all the the silly metaphors, right? It's like I'm going to war, like I'm going to battle, and like all this stuff, and I'm like, and at the end of the day, when you're removed from it, you're looking at it's like, oh, were you the toughest cheerleader in the warm up room that day? Was that what you were, Bode? You were just the toughest cheerleader in the whole warm-up room?
That's hilarious.
You could get him. You got to get him with your tumbling pass.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to get him?
Right.
Did you get the guy? Did you do it?
And then, fast forward about 45 minutes from that warm-up room experience, and let's tell everybody what happened to old Santwon and Bode that year.
Y'all, we didn't make finals.
We didn't even make it. All that, we didn't even make it.
It was all this rah-rah, and we was doing this, but it's fine. They said top 3 from the United States of America, everybody but y'all two, and we said, okay. Humbled us real quick.
Because like I'm like this, I'm like, oh, let's go. It's like, oh, I'm all done.
Dang, I have time to go to the parks. Wow. Like seriously, it was just so like it was almost just it was actually really laughable because we were just like there was just some deep rooted like we're going at it again. Like I think that's what it was. Like we're gonna go at it again and we're gonna see who wins this time. And the universe was like, oh, it was like psych, sit it down, like, and it was great. It was funny, and I enjoyed that moment personally.
It is a core memory for me. It's one of my favorite things is like I just remember being in that mindset in the warm-up room, like being so aggressive and being so like I'm gonna kill everybody, right? It's like, no, you're not. You're not even gonna compete tomorrow. You're all done. Like that's it.
Well, at least you went out like full go. Like if you were having a bad day or you were super sad and you're like, I'll get them tomorrow, you would have been mad at yourself forever. And that could have changed the course of history because you could have ended up coming back 2-3 years, putting your body through craziness and still not winning. You never know. So at least you got to like kill it.
Right. Yeah. And we both of us, like we both hit hard. It's just like sometimes, man, Jason said one time on his pod, and like I love this quote. It's like, man, sometimes you're the pigeon and sometimes you're the statue. And that day we were both the statue just getting pooed on.
Yeah. And we could do nothing about it.
Nope, that was it. Okay.
Oh, what a memory.
I want to talk about something before we get
Yes.
into what you're currently into, and this is something that not a lot of people know, and I wanted to tap into it because you're someone that inspires me deeply, and one of the things that you experienced, that you went through, that you came out on the other side of, that was it changed my thought process not only as an athlete
Oh.
but also as a coach. And something I wanted to share. And of course, I don't want you to go into any more detail than you're comfortable with. But what a lot of people don't know is that Mr. Santwon McCray had a small period of time where he wasn't able to do his tumbling the way that he was created to. And this was actually right before tryouts for Team USA. I don't remember which year. Obviously, it was the year before you did it, but it was. Can you?
2012 going into 2013,
Yeah.
I
Will
believe.
Will you talk about that? Because I know, for me, this was seeing you have this experience. Again, it changed my thought process as an athlete and as a coach. It completely shifted my thought process as a coach, which I think in turn made me a better coach. It definitely gave me insight that I never would have had, because you're someone that obviously I know, I love, I care about, and to have someone that I care about so deeply have that experience, to number one, just have the experience, but then to come out on the other side of it victorious and triumphant. It was a pivotal moment for me just as an observer. And so I just wanted you to share that, for anybody that doesn't know, and you maybe give somebody a peek behind the curtain, and maybe give somebody some hope, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, if you wouldn't mind sharing that experience. And I know that I've just been beating around the bush, and can you tell everybody what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
So, your boy had a very harsh mental block. And to your point, to be honest, I didn't quite believe in him either. I was just like, I couldn't understand something that I'd never experienced, and I think that goes over many subjects in this world. Um, I went through a mental block, and it was just one of those things of like, man, I cannot just roll over. Like my full, when I do this full, I like to do it a certain way, and I think that's one of the cool little neat little tricks or techniques that like people look at that and think, oh my god, like how do you do that? And I could not, for some reason. I don't know if I was just tired at the end of a practice, but I was going. Practice is done. We're like 30 minutes past, and a few of the tumblers are like, getting a few reps in, do 9 panels of dubs or something. And I went to do my last three standing fulls or something, and I just was so drained, and I don't know what it was, but it felt like something right here behind my neck
Mm-hmm.
just like got a lock on me, and it did not let go for weeks. I could not do a full, to the point where I had been removed from my team, like removed from mat. We're getting ready to go to Daytona, so I'm already off mat for Louisville, and I'm this close to being off for All Stars, for gym time for Black. Um, and I had Team USA tryouts. I I said, I'm gonna figure it out. I still had my flight. I still went down to tryouts, and I even talked to Leroy, cheerleading's father. I even talked to Leroy before and was like, Pops, listen, you know for a fact that I don't have a choice but to get over this. Like, I might be a little crazy this weekend. I might just, or this week, it was that when we used to do just the Monday morning after UCA college. I was like, bro, like, I'm going to be okay, but I might just do tucks because I know we can't do dubs. And I could still do doubles here and there, but like a full was a hard no go. He was like, son, listen, I got to keep it fair across the board. If you can't do something, we're going to judge you on what you do. Stunt the house down, good luck. So did all my stunts, everything's la di da. Uh, Tucks, layout, step outs, and people for a room of my what would be peers, that these kids know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
For them to look around the room confused, there's something that like just deflates within your spirit, and it was like, okay, but I had to stand there in my power. I had to own it. I had to just focus and just say, hit your stunts. If people come and ask you, you explain it to them, and you don't make it a big deal. Don't be that girl and cause a scene, because that's more of a reason for them to say, we can't have you here. you're under pressure, you can't handle it, you can't tumble, and now you're causing issues with the people who are around you. So it was like, just hold it together, keep it quiet, do what you're supposed to do when you're asked, be on time, smell good, look good, have your
Mm-hmm.
money, get out of the way, and just hope for the best. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Crickets. Didn't make it, and I understood why, so I'm not pressed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked for a favor. I asked for a gimme. When you ask for gum, there's two answers. You know what I mean? So like, I knew there was a possibility of not making it. It didn't happen. So I get home, didn't make it, and my friend Terrence Pendergrass and the godmother of all that is good in the world, Debbie Love, decided to like just say, "Hey, we will help you." And day after 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 day, they always were by my side, like uplifting me, and like to the point where I literally like just sat there and I was just crying because I was like, I felt. And if you're a kid, you're a little less able to verbalize completely how you feel
Mm-hmm.
without making it a concrete, absolute, or blanket statement. So I felt in that time, without having those things that made me Santwon, I felt worthless. I felt like if I can't tumble, I am no one and nothing. And it was just so, it was beyond defeating. And I even like spoke about it at a conference with Debbie in this class. And at that time, it was still like a fresh open wound. And I just cried. Again, I'm in a room of people who look confused because they assume that's this person. So like, everything should be good.
Right.
Like, that's why you are who you are. And for some reason, the universe lets you know that like no one is exempt, no one is special. A mental block is real.
Mm.
It is very real. There are bricks over top of your like mental body, and then there's just something that like holds you, and you feel so dumb. So I can't imagine how our like lower levels and our younger babies feel when they can't do something and they don't know how to process and compartmentalize. So going through that was
Mm.
hard, and then slowly but surely, I got through it. And I finally did one, and I was hidden in the corner in gym time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new gym time. It's not the big red box. I'm in the shotgun style one, a long one. In the corner where nobody can see me. I'm doing little things here and there. And I did one, and I said, oh my God, keep it calm. I did another one. Okay, I did another one. I stepped forward. Wonderful. I literally was starting to cry, and I stepped forward. Oh my God. I stepped forward, and I did another one, 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 and I felt my spirit come back to where I felt like all of a sudden I started to glow from within again. I had got back me. I got back me. And ooh, it's like if when you get hurt, you know, like, or if you almost hurt something, you know how you project in front of you of like what life's gonna be like without this thing that you take for granted, man. That it sucks. Woo, it sucks. And to I didn't think it would be this emotional, but to do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again till you cannot not do it. And to this day, I can still do it. I've never seen that side of my life again. And whatever this was crushed. And I stood in front of it and was like, "You can't take me, baby.
Mm.
I'm not that girl that you want to
Mm.
mess with." And it again, that's that thing where you want to fight, and it's hard to fight something you can't see.
Right.
You feel me? So to reel it in, I just did it and did it and did it, and I said nothing to no one. I went and got myself some ice cream at McDonald's.
Wait, was the machine broken?
I hope it wasn't, because I would have went to another one. Um,
Ah.
but I came back the next practice and I rested. I said, okay, I'm gonna rest. I didn't tell nobody. I literally was like, surprise album drop, Beyonce style. I just stood fine, and I stood in the second row. I said, I go to the front row because they're gonna think something's up. Because I was in the back for weeks, in the back, just like tuck jumping. I have a triple toe double, and I was in the back doing a tuck jump, bro. So to go back and practice, I stood in the second line. I had my outfit ready, smell good. I was all right, bet. So we did a tuck line warm up. I did a tuck, and then we got to standing fulls, and I just wrong, bam. When I tell you the room erupted, and I was like, "She back," and the support and the love just it let me know that everything we do is not to be taken for granted. But like, if you don't have something taken away from you, you can't have a slingshot effect. You can't be pulled back to propel forward. So it was something that was probably really needed to humble me and to put things into perspective and to really say, now that you have gotten some greatness, we could take this all away. So as you're moving forward and getting better in life, as you're becoming a young adult, all this can be gone. So don't take a second for granted. And mental blocks are real. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Man,
Woo!
thank you for sharing that. I didn't expect you to go that far into detail, and I'm so grateful that that you shared that. And
I'm upset.
I got emotional, and that
Whew.
at that time I was at Memphis Elite. And I remember just hearing through the grapevine that you were having issues, because you didn't reach out to me. You didn't, because I'm sure that's not something you just like, hey, guess what? I'm having, trouble. It's like, that's not something, and back then it was like right on my MySpace wall, right? I'm just kidding. MySpace was probably over by then, but I had no idea. And the information just came to me. It's like, yo, did you hear Santwon can't tumble? I'm like, get out of here. Like, what do you mean Santwon can't tumble? I'm like, yeah, he just can't tumble. And I'm like, bro, get out of here. I'm like, I just didn't. I flat out did not believe it. They were like, yo, no, he has a mental block. He can't spin. And I'm just like, no. And this was, such a long time ago. Not only, number one, was I just completely ignorant to the fact that mental blocks existed. I had never experienced one as a coach or an athlete. Like, I had never had an athlete go through it. And so then to hear about you, having that, I genuinely just didn't believe it. I was like, bro, get out of here. And then, they were like, no, he's going to go down to Team USA. I'm like, watch, he'll tumble at Team USA tryouts. Like, it's good. Like, it'll snap, right? Like, that'll break it. Yeah.
Or she's being dramatic for
right.
a
and
or something.
And at Memphis Elite, the team, University of Memphis, the all girl and the co-ed teams compete at UCA. So I was like, somebody like, let me know what's up. Right. And so then they all, they're at the tryouts, and I think it was Josh Gallia that texted me, and he's like, yo, he didn't tumble. I was like, yo. And that was that moment, finding out, and it was all just through the grapevine. You and I never even talked about it. But when someone told me that you didn't tumble at Team USA tryouts, that moment was like, yo, this is real. Because I was like, there's no way he's going to go to that experience with those caliber people and that opportunity, and like,
and spend money and fly down to waste time.
Right. Because people don't know, you got to pay your own way to do that. Like, you got to pay for your flights, you got to pay for until you make the team, and then you get some stuff taken care of. But up until that, it's all your own dime. Right. And so that like was an eye-opening experience for me, and that completely opened a new part of my brain and really my heart to athletes that I coached to go through it. And it completely shifted how I approached, situations. And oddly enough, the very next year I coached an athlete with a mental block. And if it was not for you having that experience and then coming out on top of it, I would have been completely lost. And I still, there's still people that are much smarter than me and can handle it much better. But if it wasn't for that experience that you had and coming out on top of it, I would have been so lost, and I would have not seen any hope or path for me as a coach or this athlete that was experiencing it. And, she had a similar thing where she, we just worked diligently in private lessons over a very, very long period of time. And there were ups and downs and, setbacks. And then there was just one day where it just clicked and all her tumbling came back. And it was almost the exact same thing you were talking about. Is like, she was overwhelmed and I was overwhelmed with emotion seeing her. And for her, it was just a back handspring. But to see her be that overcomer, and hearing that story about you being that overcomer and that feeling of, I can't even imagine what that feels like. And I was so proud of her. I'm so proud of you. And I know that anybody that's listening, it's probably just my mom watching all these episodes, but anybody else that's listening is going to be inspired by your story. And I know that that's going to have a deep impact, because there's somebody out there that's going to somebody's going to send them a clip of this. Like, hey, I know you're going through it, but like even Santwon went through it. He came out on the other side, and look where he's at. And, I know that in your mind, I know you're not at the mountaintop that you're climbing, but you're pretty far up there. And to know that, you've had stumbling blocks and speed bumps along the way, and that you, again, are that overcomer, man, that gives people hope. And that gives people, hope not only in themselves, but in their circumstance. And that even if they can't see that light, it's there and it's coming. Yeah. And so I really appreciate you sharing that. That was really cool.
Oh my God. Yeah. Thank you. I didn't know I needed to let that out. I was getting emotional. I was like, girl, relax. It's fine.
It was great. It was great. Okay. Well, now we're going to transition to stuff a lot more fun. Baby.
Woo.
And what now these young kids how all these young kids, especially if they just finished cheer sport, if they were at Jam Fest, if they were in that championship room, right, where you get your rings and all that stuff, that's how everybody knows you now. That's how all these young bucks know you. Like Designs by Santwon, Evolve takes care of all that. But, that I want to know, how did you get into designing rings, and how did you like develop and make that connection with Herf Jones to do it as a profession?
So uh, when I first when you first start getting into those higher caliber programs, especially collegiate, because that's where it was at first. It like there were event rings, and some people got rings made. They could like use the internet or Herf Jones and all the things. But I had become an upperclassman at University of Louisville, and I was on smalls at the time. I was on small co-ed. We had one. It was great, clean sweep, whoop de whoop, go do. So
Mm-hmm.
all the upperclassmen, we get a little say, a little 2 cents to throw in, like if you got an idea when the rep come, because at this point it's gym time, bro. Like we got sizers, we got ring sizers and world's rings in the lost and found, and like the winning streak was just it was expected. This was that
Right.
era. Gym time is still slaying the game, but it
Right.
was that era of like when we show up, that's it. Dipset, we out. Like,
Right.
so I was so excited, and our rep came in, and the piece he had was at that time very clean, very classic, very traditional, like pretty shiny. It got the information across. In my head, I said, it's a no for me, baby. I was like, it's not in the new age of things. It's not giving what needs to be gave. I didn't care for it. I wanted more. I was like, it's now my time. I'm an upperclassman. I want to put something on this that makes it special. I think I changed a few stone colors. I didn't do nothing impactful, but that was the first taste I got of it, and to see the ring come to me in like real life, and like there was a tangible thing that I could say my work has come out to something. It was really cool. So this was when I was starting to get into rings, because even my world's rings, I would wear them from time to time, but they were like on a necklace, or like I wasn't there yet to where I would rock 10 at one time,
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't have them. But fast forward to 2018 when Reckless won. Uh, I was like, well, are we getting a ring? What's up? And Orville was like, yeah, you figure it out. And I kind of looked around, asked around, did some things, and I designed the one for Reckless. And when I want to say, yeah, when Netta saw it, she said, well, why didn't you do one for Ghost Recon? When um, I think when Eddie saw, it was Smoed afterwards. So it was Reckless, then Smoed, then Ghost Recon, or Black Ops or something. It was one where three Cali teams had one,
Yep.
and it just started to go and go because every person saw every single post, and then they wanted one. So at the time, it was just 13 divisions at Worlds. Ugh, miss it. And no shade, but
Don't
I definitely miss
don't.
that.
Yeah, that's we need a whole nother episode for that.
Woo! But every person came through, and we ended up getting all 13 divisions. And I worked with Baron at the time for free, doing sticky notes, stick figures on sticky notes, working for free because I was excited and loved cheerleading. And each one came with like paragraphs of explanations, and they figured it out somehow. But I did 9 of the 13 divisions personally, and then the rest still came to us. So now the almighty Herf Jones that is part owner in this. They've got the rights to this stuff, this and the third. I had to figure out how to get around trademarks and copyrights and all these things. So I'm learning as I'm going, but it's just out of fun. So they said, where are our champions? And they see me start posting stuff, or people saying, thank you, Santwon, da 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 da. Designs by Santwon was not a thing yet.
Mm.
I was just sending off stuff to Canada, and they would send it out, and that was it. I was like, cool. And people were asking, they're like, are you going to charge? Do you charge? I was like, no. I mean, you can spend a little $50 on Venmo, girl. I could get a taco. Like, I didn't really think of it like that. I wasn't thinking like a business.
Right.
So, because it was my friends. Like, why? So then Herb Jones said, you know what? We're gonna meet you out in California at in Anaheim. I want to say that was USA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yes, sir. USA All Star Nationals.
woo! And one of the presidents at the time, or one of the directors, Luke Keller, found me and was like, listen, we have to talk. I have to see what it is about you that makes them want to come to you, because he didn't know cheerleading. So he didn't know that, like, if you're in cheerleading, like, this is your dysfunctional family forever. I'm not going to say it's a cult because this is going to go out in public, but we're stuck together forever because we're so deeply intertwined. You my people, that's it. Even if we don't like each other, rock with each other. When we see each other at the little function or the hotel hanging out, what's up, how you doing, how your mom and them, you speak.
Yep.
Period. So he was like, I'm gonna come with you. He walked around and, everyone's saying hi, all the Cali parents, all the parents that are around, all the athletes coming up taking pictures. He was like, wow, you're really a part of this thing. I was like, yeah, I'm not a random. Like, this is my world. Like, this is our world we live in, and I just happen to be somebody that people know. Da 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 da. And he's like, well, what do you like? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, what do you like outside of cheerleading? I said, sushi and champagne. He was like, bet. Took me to get sushi, champagne, wined and dined me, walked around the whole competition with me, just got the full thing, asked me, do I want to come to Herb Jones so I can have the access to all the copyrighted things, trademarks, logo, all the stuff. Mm-hmm. He was like, and we will pay you. And I said, bro, you gonna pay for me to do this? That's cool. And what else do I get? He was like, whatever you want. I said, sushi and champagne when I want. Because I was just being stupid. But you know how they say, closed mouths don't get fed, baby.
Okay.
So he sent a contract over and it didn't have sushi and champagne. So I said no and sent it back. And they revised. And I said, okay, I'll sign this one and I'll print her out. I'll keep this one for me. Yeah. And then after that, I got to start in 2019. And the thing that messed him up was he's a Moorhead alum. And I not only took the world champs, but when he didn't get his own alma mater's account, he was mad. That's what it was. He was like, yo, I don't like this. So that's one of the things that sparked it. And yeah, fast forward, I got to do quite a few of our 2019 world champs, and it was very new. So I created a small space after that in cheerleading to where, like, it became expected for all-star kids to get champ rings for the big comps. It didn't start like that, but it eventually became that. And now, Designs by Santwon has risen from the sparkles. And it's just one of those things of, like, you see it everywhere now. It's just one of those things where you have a face to a name. And, it's there. You can go anywhere you want. But if you want someone who knows that one comes after 8, it makes a bit of a difference of, like, understanding versus slapping logos on a piece of metal.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it came to be.
It's awesome. Yeah, and man, you do a beautiful job. And for those that aren't aware, first and foremost, Santwon designs every single one by hand. He hand draws every single one. Anybody that hasn't seen, like, the little time lapse videos, right? Like, he designs every single one by hand. He's about to pull up some sketches right now, but he designs every single one by hand. Every single piece is completely unique, taking all the info from the coaches, and I'm speaking from this firsthand because Santwon has designed 3 rings for me. He has designed 3 rings for me, and every single one has been completely unique, completely gorgeous, and I love all 3 of them. Yeah, they're all in my little ring box. I don't really. There's only one ring you see me rocking all the time. That's it.
This is how it started.
Let's go.
It started like this, which is pretty terrible. It's very, very juvenile.
Yep.
This is when I started to get a little bit better about, like, showing a little more realism with, like, stenciling and then detailing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have one more in here that's pretty decent because I'm starting to
She back.
She back, y'all. And then now I could take a little more time to accurately display how every side's gonna look, and it gets to the point where I can show the angles and shade, and this is my concept for the first Grand Champ trophy. And then on top of it would be for NCAA College Nationals, by the way, this here would be right here, a 2-tone, like, I believe a resin head to the trophy. And then the side would be our iconic all father of everything, Herky Herkimer. And then the tiger on the other side, and it was going to be embellished on this cool little whatchamacallit little post situation. It was going to be like 3.5, 4 feet tall. This is my idea for the world's first ever NCAA college grand champ trophy. It was too expensive. We couldn't find somebody to do it, but that's all right. I don't mean to put NCAA business out there, but yeah, man, that's what I get to do. It just bring everybody's journey to life and encapsulate so many different little moments in their routine, their legacy, and just little fun things. So, man, I like it because this is like my Pokemon card era. Like it's one of those things where it's interesting enough, and only I know what I see in my head, and to have the capability to like be the only person to provide a certain level of service along with a certain access to labels or brands or logos. To me, that's power. Ownership is huge, and I'm learning this as a young adult. So to own my trademark and to be the sole person that's outside of Herff Jones that can use these logos and do what I do, how I do it, I think it's really special, and I'm proud of myself.
That's incredible. That's outstanding. That's
Thank
outstanding,
you.
and I'm proud of you too. Okay, so now we're gonna get into. I don't want to call
I'm
it.
proud of you, twin. Can we just say I'm proud of you? I'm proud for you. You shine. You're an unproblematic, ever progressing, open minded, like good human, and you're great at what you do. And I think it's really special that you do it the way you do while you're being a super amazing dad, super amazing husband, super amazing brother, super amazing father, super amazing friend. So I had to give you your tens because I think it's very few good, decent humans out there. So
Thank you. That means a lot. Your check's in the mail. Thank you. I love it. Oh, that's how you did the heart.
She better clear, baby. Yes.
You just taught me something new.
Look at that. It's all love up
new.
in here, baby.
That's awesome.
It's all love up in here.
Can I show you something cool that I don't know how to?
It's all love up in here, baby.
Oh, look at that. Can I show you something cool? I don't know how to make this happen. I know there's hand gestures. Like if you do the thumbs up, it'll do a thumbs up. Yep, right there. But
Bam.
and the heart obviously does a heart, and the peace sign does balloons. Check that out. Yeah. But then
what?
I need to figure out this one. You ready? This one I can only figure out if I click it. Hold on. I need to figure this one out. Help me figure this one out. What? Hello? Can you imagine me?
If the Renaissance works for it, I'll die.
Can you imagine me mixing a cheer mix and having that go on the whole time? Just
I would lose it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you like do that thing that is at the used car parking lot.
Yeah, that could be it.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I need to figure it out. Okay, we're gonna get distracted. This is what happens. Okay,
Wait,
so now we're gonna get into like a. Did you just do
it didn't pick up?
Wakanda Forever? Is that what you just did? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know that's a joke. People are gonna come for me. Like this man doesn't know Wakanda Forever. Like
I was born in
Wakanda. All right. I'm just kidding.
It's Wakanda.
Wakanda Forever. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this is like this is gonna be your favorites section of the interview. Ready? So and I want you. I don't give these questions out in advance because I want your gut instinct, like your just immediate off the top of your head reaction. Number one, because you just talked about rings.
Round.
Yeah, speed round. Give me your Mount Rushmore of rings that you've designed. So your favorite 4 rings that you've ever designed.
Oh my God!
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Gotta give me a favorite.
Of my head,
and it doesn't necessarily have to be like your favorite team, just like your favorite design, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Team USA's most recent large co-ed ring, the rose gold piece. She's filthy. Prodigy Midnight, the world's first ever double knuckle champ ring ever across all sports. I googled it, checked it. The third would be my my piece that I dedicated to my mom. It's like praying hands in front of a globe, and the ribbons all come down to 5 big medals for each of my world titles and all the details around it. And I want to say, what would be another really cool one that I've designed? I want to say Louis All Girls ring that's about to come out. She's absolutely stunning, and I think she is an all-girl chef's kiss.
Let's go.
One ring that I did not design, Is this one?
Period. For those that don't know, congratulations, your boy is engaged.
Work, 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 work. I'm about to run this credit up. I'm about to run
Oh
this
my
credit
god.
up. Oh, sorry. I'm just playing, y'all. I ain't no gold. I got my own funds. Um, but no, yeah, my beautiful better half, Kyle. He did a fantastic job with this, especially for being a partner to someone who does rings for a living.
Yeah,
He was like, I was a little nervous, but it's just enough to be like, oh, okay, we see you, but it's still refined, very classy, and it's my favorite ring.
it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I should have put that at the top of the show. Rookie move, Bode. Rookie move. I should have put that at the top. We just came
Oh,
off Valentine's Day. Come on, man. Rookie
it's all
mistake.
good.
Rookie mistake. Okay, next Mount Rushmore. Ready?
Oh my
What are
god.
your top 4 routines that you have ever competed in? So, of all the teams you've been on at every level, your top 4 favorite like routines that you've competed.
Oh my gosh. Black Smack 2012,
Ooh, that
1000%.
I knew that had to be
Uh,
on the list.
oh come on, yeah, yeah, for sure. 1000% that one. Um, TGLC 2008. Sorry, that's my man's phone. We're gonna turn that down, Jesus. I forgot his phone was out here, girl. Lord have mercy. I'm a professional. I do this, I swear. Black Smack 2012, TGLC 2008. I want to say Team USA 2014, Super Friends, Bird Gang. And then, yeah, I would say Louisville small co-ed. Like I love, 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 love being on large co-ed. Louisville small co-ed has a special place in my heart. And actually, you know what? Yeah, it does. It does. It does. Honorable mention would be Cali Reckless to round everything
Hey,
out because, I mean, it, the 2008 one and the Reckless one, like I think those in combo, like just it's already it goes with it, so I can make room for Smalls 2011. There were some
gotcha.
close seconds. Like
It's all right.
Louisville
No,
Large
that's
Code.
it. You even named 5. That was your honorable mention. So you already threw an extra one in there.
That's it. That's it. Okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
It's hard.
Okay, now the last one. What are 4 of your what are your Mount Rushmore routines of all time that you've not been in? So favorite routines you're like, ooh, I would have loved to have been in that.
Oh God. Oh, I want to say, and in no particular order. I'm really
No,
trying to
no
rack my
particular
my
order.
brain.
No particular order.
Um, Honestly, I would love to have had. If I was to be an all girl type of queen, I wouldn't be mad about being on. I'll say it seniorly. Last year, I think just long story short, there's a routine, and then there's a performance, then there's a concert, and then there's a cultural movement that
Mm,
like is so magnetic that everyone around the world knows who you are, whether you like them or not. Let's just give a 10 where a 10 is due and put some respect on their stuff. I love all my all girl divas down, all the big 4, but there's something special about that
mm.
routine from last year. Um, I would say, Prodigy Midnight from like when they were small.
Mm.
Um, Double O's Double O's will pick a routine because all their stuff is so creative. I want to say Double O when they did like the school theme.
Yes, with
That was
the
sick.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Top Gun Large Coed 2010 because Victor's dog woke up and Coach Kristen's dog woke up because when they lost in 2009, he was livid. And it wasn't mad just because he lost to somebody or just because he lost. It was like this, we can't have this again in a sense of we don't do our absolute best and are so far forward that even with a mistake we're good. It just relit the fire for him.
Mm.
And 2010 was one of the coolest routines that they had ever done, and it was so power packed that you literally just could not blink the entire performance. So
Yep.
those are my top 4.
Nice. Good choices. Solid. And I would have to agree with all of them. They're great choices.
Thank you.
Okay. Last part of the interview. We are all done. It's the last thing. This part is the floor is completely yours. I just want to give you an opportunity to say anything that might be on your heart in regards to, the industry, something that's on your heart personally, anything you want to put out there to, your mom or maybe an old coach. I don't want to, spoon feed any ideas in your head. But if there's anything you want to say to anybody out there, I know that when you shared your story about, overcoming the mental block, that's going to inspire a lot of people. But, there are a lot of people that look to you for inspiration, not just to design the rings, but, people that are in this industry and that they want to see themselves, utilizing what they learn and gain in this industry that there is a future, right? That
Hmm.
there's stuff beyond the mat that you
Yeah.
can create a space for yourself, but it's propelled and projected because of what we do. So I just want to give you an opportunity to, just kind of speak into the ether of cheerleaders and cheerleading and anywhere in the world. And, like I said, the floor is yours. So take it away. Anything that's on your heart.
Well, thank you for giving me my flowers. I appreciate you. I just I want to say thank you to my mom, who was not only a mom, but she was a dad. Let me put this down. I'm really thankful for my mom being like everything to me, making sure that me and my sister had an opportunity to like rip us from where we're from and take us somewhere to say, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to put you in an environment where you can be watered and you can grow and have some light shined on you, so you can be big and strong. So I'm so grateful to my mother. I'm grateful for my father as well, because his lack of presence and his lack of guidance and love taught me to love unconditionally. And if you have someone that you absolutely love and you can't live without, you don't let them go. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever it is, like you don't let that person go if you actually truly love them. So I'm thankful for my bad, because it showed me, again, if I didn't have bad and I didn't know any better, I would know how to like you don't know fire's hot till you touch it. So I'm thankful for having those bad experiences or lack of experiences, because it's filled 10 times over with love. And I'm grateful for my coaches, Melvin, Andrea, Chris, Phil. I'm grateful for Coach Kristen, Coach Victor. Thank you for letting me in your house and ruining your carpet with all the sparkles. Sorry about that. They had to rip them up, and now they have hard floors in the house. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Um, and I'm so grateful for Misty and James, and for Kaylin Cook. Jesus, the white Jesus, literally. I used to be called Black Jesus. He's white Jesus. He's amazing. He's the uncle that like everybody wants. He's a cool cat, man. I really love him. And grateful for Orby. I'm grateful for you, Bo. Like to coach alongside you, and you still let me kind of figure myself out in the midst of that. I'm grateful for Taji, and I'm grateful for Tanaz for giving me a job when I literally was struggling in LA trying to find work just to work. And she was like, whatever you need, I got you. It's just people like that that will give you a chance. And I'm also super grateful for you, because having a space where I get to like scream and let out frustration or let out excitement and just do it to where I'm with someone who absolutely knows me inside and out. That is such a cool thing. Like to me, I try to keep my composure, but I always leave so excited. And and you give me sushi, so like yes. But like I think it's really cool to, again, we find ways to do what we like to do in a space where it's received by someone else, or we are working for it. Like we're making all the good stuff work for everyone, in whether it's in reciprocity or whether it's in like a business sense or whatever the case. We do stuff to where it's not just for just personal. It's always a group thing. So other than that, man, I'm super grateful for this entire experience. Debbie Love, you are cheerleading's greatest. We could not do anything we do without you. Terrence Pendergrass, thank you for holding literally my hand while I cried and thought that like my life was over because I was worthless. Thank you for helping us sis out and catching my big ass. You said it, Bo. You said I would crack. I was so in my feelings for a second. Anyways, I thank you, Terrence. I was like, I'm a professional. I got this. I know it. Anyways, just thankful to the universe for just this experience. Because again, like I said, the reason life is beautiful and a meal is beautiful or a song is beautiful is because it's going to end. We have to be grateful in all these moments. And universe willing, I hope that you and I go all the way to the end, Fran, because it's
Yes,
been
sir.
a magical journey of sorts.
Yes,
It has
sir.
been unique.
Yeah.
It has been a lot of things, honey. But we're gonna see it through to the end. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, I cannot. I cannot. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing so many stories, so many cool things, perspectives that I hadn't even heard. And, that's part of why I'm doing this. And it's so fun. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you. And of course, not only you welcome back, to do this, but I got to get you back out here in the studio. We got, next season to start worrying about. So
We got things to do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I can't wait to be back in the studio. I love your face, Twinsy, and I can't wait to hug your neck.
yeah. I love you. And we'll get some sushi for sure and champagne. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. And Mom, thanks for watching. I love you. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Hmm.